Motorcycles today are different. Refinements like self-starters, improved gears, flashing indicators, better suspension, quieter engines and more powerful braking. The modern motorcycle is an unobtrusive and economical means of transport. The new breed of two-wheelers is attracting ever more people from all walks of life. Show business personalities like Dick Emery, John Pertwee and Steve McQueen, together with men of action like Sterling Moss and Graham Hill, are enthusiastic everyday motorcyclists. Businessmen and politicians, the famous and the not so famous, all find the modern motorcycle ideal personal transport. Women too are attracted by the cleanliness and convenience of today's machines. The secretary on her way to the office, the district nurse on her rounds. And they have a wide range to choose from. There are large and powerful machines which are equally at home on long distance journeys or the daily trip to work. There are smaller motorcycles to suit all needs, for the beginner, the housewife or the economically minded, and the moped, ideal personal transport for all the family. You can even get small machines which you can carry in the boot of a car or on a boat. And if that isn't enough, there are machines which fold up and can be carried in all sorts of unusual places. A policeman's lot is made a happier one with a motorcycle to get him quickly and conveniently to wherever he may be needed. More than ever before, the motorcycle today is accepted by other road users. And what has brought about this new and widespread interest in two-wheelers? Well, above all, it's fun. People ride for the sheer pleasure of it. The wind in your face, the thrill of handling a well-bred machine. You can really get away from it all. What better way for the young, and the young in heart, to enjoy a day out in the countryside? And if you really want to get away from roads and traffic, then trail riding should be your scene. Any motorcycle can be ridden over rough country, but the industry have developed special trail machines, which are ideal for enthusiasts to enjoy roaming far and wide. There's a practical side too. Two-wheelers are economical. In addition to being cheap to buy, some of today's mopeds will take you an astonishing 150 miles on a squirt of oil and a gallon of petrol. Not bad for personal transport. Just compare that with bus and train fares, or the cost of running even the smallest car. On today's congested roads, the two-wheeler has a tremendous advantage. It can often filter through traffic jams without inconveniencing other road users. There are certainly no parking problems, and usually nothing to pay. Experts in roadcraft agree that the increasing use of two-wheelers benefits us all, and not just because it keeps the highways and car parks less cluttered. Their main consideration is the improvement it can bring to driving standards. Riding a moped or a motorcycle develops a sense of conditions, surfaces and traffic flow which cannot be gained in any other way. There's no doubt that the best and safest motorist is the one who learned his roadcraft on two wheels. Let's hear what the experts think about it. At Westminster, Keith Speed MP is a familiar sight on his motorcycle as he threads his way through London's traffic to take his seat in the House.
As motorcyclists, we have many advantages over other road users. Motorcycling is cheap and very enjoyable, but we also have the advantages of being able to use the road to not get snarled up in the jams that affect lorry drivers and car drivers. But we have our responsibilities to the road users as well. We can see the cars, but often they can't see us. That's why I'm wearing this jacket. And that's why it's so important for the motorcyclist to be seen. We have to be able to spot road hazards of all kinds, and we have to be able to negotiate them without endangering ourselves or other road users. It all adds up to the importance of good training if you wish to take a two-wheeler in modern traffic.
It's fairly easy to ride a motorcycle, but to ride a motorcycle in traffic, one has to be really aware of what's going on around you and also of road surface conditions. As a racing motorcyclist, I have to make split-second decisions on line and what other competitors are likely to do. But in traffic, this applies even more, where drivers aren't as skillful as my fellow competitors. Motorcycling has given me a great deal of fun and given me a great life, but not without a lot of hard work and practice. So my advice to you is get the best possible basic training you can to enjoy motorcycling to the full.
It's not everyone who is lucky enough to have a world champion for a father, but learning to ride a moped or a motorcycle is not simply a matter of getting a few tips from Dad. To be a safe motorcyclist, you have to be a trained motorcyclist, which is why the training schemes have been set up. There are two major training schemes in existence: the School's Traffic Education Program, or STEP, and the RAC ACU training scheme. Using mopeds, both have carefully developed instructional programs on basic training and safe riding techniques for young people at school and later. First, you have to know what to wear. Strong shoes or boots, light but firm gloves, a warm and weatherproof jacket, helmet and goggles. But before you buy your equipment, check with an expert. A mistake could be expensive. Since this film was made, the chin cup has been made illegal. Now let's look in on a typical class. Here the instructor is explaining the controls on the moped and describing their function. The first time the pupil handles the machine, he wheels it along to get the feel of the steering, brakes and so on. Then he sits on the moped and is pushed along. When he's learnt the way to steer and stop the moped, he's shown how to start the engine. Then he walks alongside with the engine running and practices using the controls. When at last he's conversant with all the controls, and not before, he's given a chance to ride under power and practices the basic starting and stopping techniques. Once a student can start and stop correctly, he moves on to learn about turning. First, to the right, and then to the left. At this stage, the pupil is only learning how to handle the machine correctly. Roadcraft, hand signals, traffic conditions, the highway code are all covered later in the course. Riding around pylons to make a figure of 8 is a very valuable exercise for practicing machine control. Then more pylons are introduced to make a slalom course. But of course, not everyone can do everything perfectly at once, and further instruction and more practice are sometimes necessary. Finally, on the playground, there's instruction and practice on how to stop quickly in an emergency. But of course, to be a really good motorcyclist, you ought to know something of the workings and maintenance of the machine. So, whilst one group is practicing handling the mopeds, here another is learning all about the construction of their machines. Now they're almost ready for the road. But first, a most important lesson, the safety checks. Just as the pilot of an aeroplane wouldn't dream of taking off without first checking out the controls, so the students are taught the basic checks to make on their machines before taking to the road. Let's go with Stephen as he sets out on his first solo. Like all students who've completed one of the 2 training schemes, he's practiced all the basic techniques of riding in safety, off the road and away from the traffic. Then, when he goes out on the highway, without worrying about the basic handling problems, he can concentrate upon road and traffic conditions. Then there's the correct way to turn right at a crossroads. Check to see what's behind, give a clear hand signal, that's not a very good one, move to the center of the road, and if it's clear the other way, swing around the corner. Something you're not likely to have in the school playground is an articulated lorry. Stephen is far too close to this one. But at least he's had the sense not to come up on the near side. Just look what might have happened as the lorry nips in on the corner. A row of parked cars, and again Stephen's too close. Just as well he remembers his emergency stop procedure. Without the proper training and a safe machine, that could have been an accident. The likelihood of an accident, the degree of risk, is reflected in the rate of insurance. So, how safe are mopeds? Let's hear what the insurance experts at Lloyd's think. Mr. Tucker is chairman of Drevitt Insurance Limited, leading specialists in motorcycle insurance.
Lloyd's of London is an insurance market made up of several hundred individual syndicates. It handles over £600 million worth of insurance business during the course of the year from all corners of the globe. Its word is its bond. Every valid claim is paid, no matter how many millions are involved, and what is not normally realised is that every member of a syndicate is personally liable down to the last penny he owns to maintain Lloyd's reputation. I'm glad to say that mopeds are considered one of the very best motor insurance risks. Anyone buying a bike should consult his motorcycle dealer regarding insurance. Most dealers can offer on-the-spot cover backed up by Lloyd's, and all dealers can give good advice.
For most mopeds, a fully comprehensive insurance policy costs around £5 a year. And this policy covers the machine, not the rider, so that anyone who holds a valid driving license is able to drive a moped with the owner's permission. Because of its safety, economy and convenience, the use of the motorcycle for every type of business and pleasure continues to increase. Motorcycle sport is also booming, and there are lots of opportunities at all levels of the sport for enthusiasts to enjoy their hobby more, either as spectators, officials or participants. Perhaps the greatest mecca for British motorcyclists is the Isle of Man, which every year draws countless thousands of enthusiasts from all over the world for the TT races. Then there's motocross, which you can enjoy at all levels, from club to international. All forms of motorcycle sport have two things in common. They demand skill and knowledge of the machine. Perhaps nowhere is this more evident than in trials, which are enjoyed by more enthusiasts than any other branch of the sport. Not long ago, motorcycling was looked upon as a fading part of the British motoring scene. Today, the pleasure, convenience and economy of the modern motorcycle is earning it a place as the all-purpose runabout for every member of the family. Both small and large capacity machines are enjoying new and widespread use. Within the next few years, it could well be that the motorcycle will be taking its place with the washing machine, the fridge and the television as a natural and necessary part of the equipment of most households. That's why the motorcycle industry is making machines safer, cleaner and more efficient, and is actively promoting training schemes to encourage new riders, not only young ones, to learn to ride in safety, introducing them to the pleasures of motorcycling.